Jamezz, what up, bro?
What's up, brother?
Tell the audience where you from and who you are.
Jamezz Hampton, film director, south suburbs right outside Chicago. Grew up in Robbins and Harvey. Essentially, that's where my roots are from. Yeah, man, got into the industry around 2015. I can't think of a better job to have, to be able to go out, tell stories that's important to you first and foremost, and tell them the way that you want to tell them like this. I think that's a superpower in its own right.
What made it click that you were a film director?
So director per se, what made it click for me was the amount of impact that I have on the story. Being able to choose a story that fit me, being able to write the story that fit me. When I started to get into the film industry, once you'll see that there's a ton of jobs that you can get. And at some point I believe that almost every filmmaker has a dream or aspiration of telling a story, and I feel like most of us lose it. For me, I just could never lose the vision of being able to tell my own stories and being able to contribute to other people's stories in the way that I have over the last few years. So that's what it's been for me, bro. It's honestly just been, just resiliency and me being able to persevere through whatever was thrown at me. But I love every aspect of it. I love the pressure, I love the impact, I love the stress, everything about it. I don't see nothing wrong with that job. In my world, it's the perfect job.
What is your directorial style? How do you approach them?
So, let's just use a commercial for an example, right? It's very important for me. My agenda is very clear at the beginning of each project. All right, what do I want to say? Finding my voice. And being able to do that and translate that on the screen, through the camera, whatever the case may be. And then I do the same thing in narrative world. In the narrative world, the biggest thing for me is continuing to put the people that I want to see in the roles that I want to see them in. Because I'm trying to inspire as much as possible, bro. Being a black director is not easy. Being an independent filmmaker is not easy. And I hate to try to make it look easy at any point, because it's a struggle, at all points. But for me, it's more so just finding what is it, how do I connect with this, and then finding how to represent that connection.
What do you mean by that? Because that's amazing what you're saying. It is hard out here for black directors. We're just not getting our shine.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to be a black director to you?
It's all about being able to be represented in those rooms. For me, it means that I'm paving the way for the next wave of filmmakers, which is my ultimate goal. Being able to go out here and learn the mistakes I need to learn and be a pioneer in change. I love the fact that underrepresented people could come into this industry that has been dominated by minority over decades, and to kind of come and find their voice. That's just my goal, bro. So at the end of the day, that's my job, and I'm just using that as a tool to do my job. So and I love it because it's my favorite tool to be a movie director, commercial director. So I don't mind being the face of whatever comes with that, because I know where I'm coming from is a place of purity, and my intentions are always to just continue to grow and to grow in a position where people around me could also learn from my growth. What film school allows you to do is create a network before you actually go to work. It gives you a little bit of a reference to what set etiquette. Let's just say if I'm 20 years old and I'm I want to go be a PA on this show, but I don't know, I don't respect the jobs, I don't respect the hierarchy. I'm at a disadvantage now, meaning I might not get that call back. This may be my one in a lifetime opportunity to jump into this industry. And if I mess up, I may not actually have an opportunity to learn from that mistake. And that's one of the benefits of film school, allowing you to mess up without having a big fallout. Now, I will say this, I don't know if you have to graduate film school.
Yeah.
Graduating, that may not always have all the pros that comes with that because of the amount of debt that you accumulate. But I will say this, I think if you are interested in this business, you gotta start here. My favorite directors are Ryan Coogler, John Singleton, Jordan Peele, because they're pioneers in their own right. So my favorite Jordan Peele is Get Out. That type of storytelling opened up the box of possibilities. Being able to go into a world where you can explore new IP meaning intellectual property. So like essentially like new ideas. So with those three guys, I think that all of them have proven throughout their careers that being able to be original, being able to stick to content that comes truly from the spirit and that they can relate to, because none of them have done a project that I felt like disconnected me from who they are as a person. I mean, if I'm being 100% honest though, like those guys I pay close attention to only because they look like me. They're from areas that I could recognize. Everybody else I don't really pay a lot of attention to because, you know, if I'm being completely honest, they can do nothing for me. I don't spend a lot of time kind of studying other people when the reality for me is I have to study myself, figure out what type of person I need to be and translate that to film or video.
I've always wanted to ask you, man, God is a big part of your work, is it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You'll see a lot of God in a lot of movies. Yeah. You know, I'm a believer in the Bible, but I think that when we see movies, it needs to be depicted the way that the Bible describes certain things to happen in order for us to relate the two. But God is everywhere, see all everywhere. I believe that in my heart of hearts, like putting God in the center, and I believe that other filmmakers, producers, directors are doing the same thing, but telling moments where you have to find God or God come and finds you. And to me, that's my favorite part of filmmaking because I think that I could do that in all genres. I don't have to just make a movie that is a faith-based movie for people to be able to see that there's a connection between a human and God himself. Yeah, like I would say it's the biggest thing into why I'm doing this is so that I can teach people that throughout no situation, whether it's horror, sci-fi, comedy, like it's always a sense of hope there, it's always a sense of grace to be given, it's always some sense of reconciliation that can be had, it's always an opportunity to grow. And that's what I talk about with my actors. And we don't go as deep as talking about it on a religion base, but I always try to get them an idea of like, what phase of life are you in this scene? False Prophets is a story about a girl who allows some family history to aid some greed, where she mismanages some money and then that greed has its own consequences. Put this in there. It's about misappropriating church funds, which happens a lot, bro. I mean, it happens a lot,
bro.
You know, like, and then it's a family church, bro. So like,
I want to touch on how do you direct actors, both professional actors and non-professional actors?
So, man, I love both opportunities, but how I go about with a professional actor is world building. Being able to create a world where I can trust that actor to make decisions. I need my actors to make the decisions and allow me to guide them almost like a parent. The idea is for you to feel comfortable enough to try and not to let my word dictate the way that you react to somebody else, because I'm not in the scene, I'm observing it. But when it comes down to people who haven't done it, I would say I have more of a joy getting them to execute than I do the people that have done it already, because obviously they've done it.
Nice.
You know, getting them to let go of themselves by the end of the shoot is so rewarding for me, because I'm always like, I didn't hire you to be you. Like, I'm hiring you to be this whole other person. Now we got to create this person together. All my actors, like, I would love to work with them again. I would love to be able to get them out to see their growth. Man, I've seen my actors go and do a movie with me, and then 2 years from now, they already on like Netflix.
Nice.
They already doing it. And I'm like, they done passed me up. I didn't like that pass me up.
So guys work. You put them in a position to win. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, so I just finished a series of short films. At this point, focusing on those stories that are deeply rooted to me. I got Triggered getting ready to come out, which is a prank variety show. I'm excited to showcase that because it shows pranks from a different perspective, as well as it has so many social and economical topics that'll be discussed, and that's why it's a variety show. I got Rebirth. I'm calling that my coming out party.
Is that a feature or what?
It's going to be episodic. Once Rebirth touches the airwaves, people will see exactly what I've been trying to do.
What's something you would just give new filmmakers coming into the game, man? Like,
man, it's okay to fail. That's it. As long as you learn from it. Failure is an attempt to do something that falls short of the goal. It gets you close and it helps guide you. to where you need to be. So like I think failure is right up there with everything that is good, because we trying to be good, and just like how we try to be good stewards to God. Like we fall short of that, but we are genuinely, we go back and we learn from it. We are failed to be perfect humans. We can't be perfect, but we can continue to learn and do better and be better versions of ourselves. And to me, I just use that same principle. So when it comes down to excelling, the idea is to go through it and continue to practice, honing your craft. So that's what I mean by fail. Like it's okay to go out and try something, fall short of the goal, apply what you just learned, and go attack it again.
Yep.
Even if you don't get it the second time, the third time, you're gonna be much closer than you were the first time. That's the one thing I would want to leave with people, is just be okay with the process, enjoy the journey.
And your next project be looking out for?
Trigger to probably be the first thing y'all see, either Triggered or the sermon. Y'all might see the sermon before y'all see Trigger.
All right, man. So, all right, bro. Let's get it.